Your credit card is the strangest deal in your wallet. A company hands you free money every time you spend, and somehow the more you use it, the more they profit. Credit card rewards feel like a gift. They're not. They're the visible tip of a business most people never see. And once you follow the money, you'll realize you might be on the wrong side of it. Here's the part nobody advertises. Those points, that cashback, the airline miles, someone pays for all of it. And more often than not, it isn't the bank. It's the person standing in line behind you, paying with cash, who will never see a single point in return. By the end of this, you'll understand exactly how the rewards machine works, who really funds it, and why the system is quietly designed so that the people with the least end up subsidizing the people with the most. This is the hidden business behind credit card rewards. To understand rewards, you have to start with a number most people never notice: the swipe fee. Every time a card touches a terminal, the merchant pays a small cut of the sale, usually somewhere between 1% and 3%. It's called interchange, and it's the beating heart of this entire industry. Think about what that means. A coffee shop selling a $5 latte doesn't keep all $5. A slice comes off the top and flows back through the system, to the network, and most of all, to the bank that issued your card. Multiply that by billions of transactions a month, and you're looking at one of the most reliable money machines ever built. Now here's the twist. The bank doesn't keep all of that fee. It takes a portion and hands it back to you as rewards. That's the sleight of hand. The cash back in your account was never the bank's gift. It was skimmed off the price of everything you bought, and the bank simply chose to share a slice with you to keep you swiping. So the rewards aren't coming out of the bank's pocket. They're coming out of the transaction itself. Which raises the real question. If the fee gets baked into prices, then who actually absorbs the cost? Because it isn't the store eating it quietly. It's you and everyone around you. Here's what happens next, and it's the part that flips the whole thing on its head. When a merchant gets charged that swipe fee, they don't just absorb it and take the loss. They build it into their prices. The fee becomes part of the cost of doing business, and that cost gets spread across every single item on the shelf, which means the price you pay for a gallon of milk already has the swipe fee baked in, whether you pay with a rewards card, a basic debit card, or a handful of cash. The store charges everyone the same price, but only some people get points back. Sit with that for a second. If you're paying cash, you're covering the same inflated price as the cardholder next to you, but you get nothing in return. You're effectively funding their rewards. The person with the premium travel card earning airline miles on groceries is being subsidized, in part by the person who can't qualify for that card at all, often because their credit score isn't high enough to get through the door. And that's the uncomfortable core of it. A Federal Reserve study found that cash users effectively pay around $149 per year to subsidize card rewards. Studies of the payment system have consistently found the same pattern. Money flows from lower income households, who are more likely to pay with cash or basic cards, toward higher income households holding premium rewards cards. It's a transfer, a quiet one. Robin Hood in reverse, taking from those who have less and handing perks to those who already have more. Nobody designed it to look like a tax, but that's exactly how it behaves. So if this system quietly punishes the people who can least afford it, why hasn't it been fixed? The answer is simple. Everyone at the top is winning, and they're winning big. The banks win because interchange is one of the most profitable revenue streams in finance, steady, enormous, and paid every time a card moves. The networks win because they sit in the middle of every transaction and collect regardless of who buys what. Networks like Visa and MasterCard, and on the premium end, American Express, process trillions of dollars in volume annually, and their cut flows in no matter what. And the people chasing points feel like they're winning too, which is exactly the point. Rewards aren't generosity. They're a customer acquisition weapon. The more attractive the perks, the more you spend, and the more the bank earns from your swipes, and from the interest, if you ever carry a balance. That last part matters. The most valuable cardholder to a bank isn't the disciplined one who pays in full every month. It's the one who gets seduced by the rewards, spends more than they planned, and starts carrying debt. The perks pull you in. The interest is where the real money hides. And because the whole thing is invisible, no line item, no receipt that says swipe fee, there's almost no public pressure to change it. That hasn't stopped policymakers from trying. The Durbin Amendment tried to cap interchange on debit cards, and the Credit Card Competition Act has kept the debate alive in recent years, arguing that real network competition could push those fees down. But as of right now, the fee structure that powers rewards remains largely intact, and the system keeps running. You can't get angry about a cost you never see. The genius of the system is that it feels like a reward while functioning like a fee. Everyone thinks they're beating the house, and the house is delighted to let them believe it. So where does that leave you? Not with a lecture to cut up your cards. If the system is rigged this way, walking away from rewards while everyone else collects them just means you're paying the hidden fee and getting nothing back. In a game you didn't design, refusing to play isn't the same as winning. The real move is to see the machine clearly. Use the rewards, take the cash back, book the flights, but do it with your eyes open. Pay in full. Never carry a balance. Keep your credit utilization low so your score stays healthy and those premium cards stay within reach. And never let a points multiplier talk you into spending money you weren't going to spend. The moment rewards make you spend more, you've stopped beating the house and started funding it. Because that's the whole trick. Credit card rewards were never a gift. They're a share of an interchange fee that everyone pays and only some people get back. A quiet transfer dressed up as free money. The points are real. The generosity is not. So the next time that cash back hits your account, remember where it actually came from. Not the bank's kindness. The price of everything you bought, routed through an interchange fee, and the person behind you in line who paid the same and got nothing. That's the hidden business behind credit card rewards, and now you're one of the few who can see it.